percentage of that we can calculate what an animal needs if it is a balanced diet, a nutritious food. I think it's about, I'm sorry, I didn't have the graphs. I will have to check. Some percentage of the body weight. Maybe my brother will be able to answer perfectly. I think I forgot.
It's 3 to 4, my brother. If my
3 to 4% of the
body weight.
Of their body weight. That is what they need as a feed source. But how are you sure this feed meets their nutrient requirements? So if I have enough feed resources, I will provide the feed ad libitum so that when they are okay, they move out of the feed. They will not eat more than what they need. That is one thing about animals. As soon as they meet their body requirements, they will go there and sit down. They will regurgitate. You see them chewing. They will sleep. And when they are done, when that one is digested, they will come back to eat. So that is one thing I know about animals. How sure are you that you have the normal nutrient requirement they need and you want to ration the feed? If you are not sure, make the feed available to them at libitum. They pick what they need. They pick what they need and leave the rest for you.
Can I just add 2 things to what my brother has said? The first one is that you have to provide for waste. So when we say 3% or 4% or even 5% of the body weight, the typical Sokoto red goat, red goat in Nigeria will be about 30, 35 kilograms. If we take 40 kilograms, it means you have to have at least 2 kilograms of food that day. That 2 kilograms, you have to add another maybe 6, 7% for waste. But that is when everything is perfect. Now, it is unlikely that everything will be perfect. So I provide in my calculations, even the silage that is fortified, at least 3 kilograms per animal per day. But in addition to that, you have to be conscious to supplement. And this is where the cost comes up. Concentrates, which is usually grains, will be about 200 to 300 grams per animal, an adult animal. And then you have to add your trace minerals. And that is where your leek comes in, or the minerals that you put when you are mixing your concentrate. Thankfully, we also mix silage with all sorts of things. Therefore, we already have anticipated. That's one part of feeding. The other part is what will cause your goat to eat well. So it's the same way, if you cook food and you don't put salt, the chances are you will eat for as long as you need to eat, but the moment you are full, you will say this food is not sweet, they should come and take it, or there's no Maggi in it. So you have to think about non-nutritious additives or additives that are necessary to encourage the animal to eat well. The biggest of those is clean water. If goat does not have clean water, it won't eat as much as it should eat. So water has to be available, clean, cool, and available ad lib. Ad lib means that you are not stopping them. They are the ones who will stop themselves. The other that we use on our farm is salt, common salt.
Yes.
We use common salt to douse the food, but increasingly we are using molasses. When we were making silage initially, I was putting sugarcane in it because I couldn't find enough molasses. But now we have some sort of molasses supply. We know it's molasses. That's another issue in Nigeria. So we are using molasses. The last thing that we add to the food, which is not necessarily about getting food, is that we deliberately add lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is a type of bacteria that the goat needs in its rumen to operate well. We supplement what they have naturally by using a solution that is called EMAS. We make it ourselves. I used to buy it before. We make it ourselves. We have it on hand, and we add it to everything that we give our animals. We use it to wash them. We used to wash their house. One day we'll talk about EMAS and lactobacillus, but for now, take it as an additive to the food.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to move to another section of our webinar or our discussion, as I want to use the word. We want to talk about feed. You make mention of a lot of feeds. So, but my question now is, especially Cattle Plug is going to take that first before the Red Goat Farm is going to come in. List the type of grasses we need for goats and cows for ruminants. List for us the type of grasses we need. Okay. I know that Red Goat Farm has some kind of unique grasses he and our Dr. Mopoluwacho are planting. They have some kind of Yoruba names, but I want Catoplock to start first. Catoplock, please list for us the grasses.
Well, okay. I will say what I have used and it's available around
in
me.
Nigeria.
Yeah. So let me start with Napier.
No.
I think it's my favorite grass presently.
Wow.
So Napier, Super Napier, is my favorite grass, and I am advocating it big time. So as I said, I've established Napier for enough farmers, especially cattle farmers. They are always praising us for that. So I use sorghum. I have been planting sorghum for my animals for years. I got the concept of sorghum from Shunga Dairy Farm. That is what they use. They use it as alternative to maize. So we've been planting sorghum for our animals for a very long time. Now, I go to another popular one, which is Bracharia. All these we are mentioning are more of energy source. So we use Bracharia, and then we go to elephant grass, Panicum maximum. I don't know the Yoruba name or what we call it, but there is one that is called Panicum. It's very high yielding, and it is not a yearly, it's a perennial grass too. It's high yielding and it's perennial. And this sugar grace that my boy is always advocating presently, I think we have been using it for some time, because this species of sorghum that we use, we do buy it from Premier Seed. So I am not too sure if it is sugar grace, but I actually call it sorghum. So we've been using it for a quite number of times. Now let's go to legume. We have Lab Lab. We have Silosantis. We have Centrosema. We have Centrosema, Lab Lab, Silosantis. We have, what do we call this one? Sorry, I'm supposed to jot some of these things down. Sometimes it's always speaking. So yeah, so these are the major ones. These are the major ones I actually use on our own farmers. Those are the major ones we sell to our clients. As soon as I remember when he's talking, I will bring other ones. Yeah.
So at Red Goat Farm, tell us first of all, what are the types of feeds you have in your field for grass? That's one. Then the second question, what is the different varieties of sorghum?
Oh, okay.
Let me start with the sorghum first.
When you say grass, do you mean grass or plants? Because they're two different things.
Yes, educate us on the two.
Yeah, see, in Yoruba, koriko is koriko. But in farming, koriko is not the same as koriko. Now, let me start with the unusual ones.
Yes.
We plant deliberately Mucuna prurens. It is known in Yoruba as werekwe.
Yes.
We plant it for three reasons. Number one, nobody steals it. Number two, the animals love it. And number three, it's very, very easy to propagate. You propagate from seed. So year on year, we plant about 1 hectare of Mucuna deliberately. We have the ones that we didn't deliberately plant that are growing that we will still harvest, but deliberately we plant those. In addition, we've mentioned two grasses already. The grasses are monocotyledon. These are what we will call bush naturally. But you've got to remember that when anybody who drives in the southwest or southeast of Nigeria on the roadside, anything you see there is largely perhaps available and palatable enough for goats to eat. That's why you see the goats by the roadside. But they are not necessarily in their native stage the best. So what has happened over time is the good people who are industrious, and not many of them in Nigeria, let me be truthful, have come to Africa, taken the grass and crossed it to the point where they are a lot better. So we plant specifically Panicum maximum brasilica. The seed originally came from Brazil, and there's a reason. The ones in our local bush, if it touches your body, it will eat you to hell because it has hairs on it. This one has very few hairs and is very succulent. So that particular cultivar is important to us. Having said that, there are other cultivars available, and I went to NAPRI with my brother. I hope he's on the call. We went to NAPRI as part of our education even before I planted a pasture. Some of these seeds are available locally, not just the best or better cultivars. Bracharia, we have 2 bracharias. There are like possibly 60 different types of bracharia. I don't know all the 60. I bought 2 sources of bracharia seed. One from Kenya, deliberately I went to look for it. It's called Mulatto 2, and the one from Zaria. You can tell the difference when it's raining. One is very thick and very bushy. The other one is thinner and it's very long-necked. The goats prefer, the local goats prefer Panicum to Bracharia, but Bracharia is better for them. I don't know why. What we originally had with Bracharia was there were snakes in them, but we've dealt with that issue, and now Bracharia free is largely snake. I don't know if that's why the goats are like that. But the foreign goats, my brother, they don't really care. When we talk about goats, we'll talk about that later. They just eat. And that is a distinction that is an advantage to us. They are not as discerning and not as choosy as our own goats are. Now, in addition to these grasses that we planted, we have to fill our bunkers. I think people conceptually might not be able to understand what 1 ton is, but we have 250
bags of cement.
So imagine that you have to create 250 tons of food. It means that cutting grass is not enough. You have to plant something that is going to give you volume. Per hectare, we plant these things because they give us volume. At the very minimum, I'm expecting 30, 40 tons per hectare in one cutting from anything that I plant. And I'll cut it 2 or 3 times before the season is over. That's what I mean by, deliberate tonnage. So for those, like I said, in our first year, we planted sweet sorghum. My brother, cattle plug, sweet sorghum is not available in Nigeria. It grows, but it doesn't grow very good seed, but it's sweet. The second year, we planted maize. I planted 5 hectares of maize. But when I did the sums in a spreadsheet, the cost of planting maize, fertilizing it, harvesting it did not make sense to a commercial farmer. So I'm going backwards now and planting sorghum. This year, I planted sugar sorghum, but it's not the same thing as sugar graze. The first thing I noticed is that the people who were harvesting it were licking their fingers. So I took a video, and I don't know if I posted it on this group, but I certainly sent it to my brother to see what I'm seeing. At lunchtime, they will sit with the sticks in their pockets, eating it like cane because they discovered it was sweet. That is how you know cattle plug. That is not what you buy. So I buy Samsung 2, also from, what's Obasanjo's company called now, the seed company. You mentioned it just now. So we don't have it. I don't know if Prof is on the call, but Prof also planted sugar grades, but he brought it from abroad. These seeds are about 7 times more expensive than sorghum because of that property. In some parts of the US, they are actually used to create sugar. The advantage is that the water requirement is lower than, say, something like Napier, which is very close to sugarcane sometimes in its water requirement, depending on which Napier, and it is better for us up north. So the answer to the question is not which one should you plant. You have to start with what is growing naturally in your area and then find the best in that sense. I don't know if Wiriwe grows in the north, but certainly in Abuja area, it flourishes. So the answer to the question is what is growing in your area, find the better variety or the cultivar and grow it as a starting point. The one thing that we added this year was sweet potatoes. Has anybody used sweet potatoes before?
No. Sure.
There are 3 reasons. The calorific value, the starch content, and the sugar content is very, very high. So you are getting what we call bulk. And I use it for pellets. I feed it raw, I feed it dry. And the goats, it doesn't matter. If you put it in your hand, they will use your hand as part of their chewing stick. So the cost of growing potatoes is almost zero. You buy the vine 1 year, the following year, you replant it and you replant it. It works for me. The vine is silageable, but more importantly, it's also very, very good for the animals. So all these things are part of a mix. If you go abroad, they will do beetroot. They will do
beetroot.
Yes. They will do sugar beet, sorry, not beetroot. They will do sugar beet. We don't have sugar beet. The advantage of sugar beet is it grows from seed. But we have sweet potatoes. So I cleared 1 hectare and I put sweet potato in it. And it's done very well. I've dried the sweet, I chip them, I dry them, I mill them, and I put it in my pellets, and they're good, both for the rabbits and for the goats. And we use it for the kids that we have just owned. So when you say grass, is sweet potato a grass, my brother? I know it's a plant.
I should have used the word feed. I should have used the word feed. That encompasses all of them.
Now, let me just extend it for 1 second.
Yes, sir.
In addition to these things that we plant, and my brother brought some Gliricidia from his travels. I stole some from his farm. We plant leguminous trees. Gliricidia is one of them. We have, what's that thing that silkworm eats? Is my brother on the call? Help me out.
No, he has not joined. Okay,
I'm here. Leukemia.
No, not leukemia. The one with the sweet berries.
Mulberries.
Mulberry. So we plant both mulberry and Gliricidia. And these are leguminous trees that give us a lot of volume. I also have some wild melina in my farm, which the goats love. I know my brother plants them for a living. The Yoruba people on Okon Waja.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. At Red Goat Farm. Meanwhile, the man you saw just now is our very own Dr. Mofoluwasho. I'm going to be asking him a question later. Since he's on, I'm going to ask him that question. He's our superhero, Dr. Mofoluwasho. Good afternoon, sir. I salute you. Meanwhile, somebody should help me, at Mr. Taiwo, help me call Dr. Bamidele. He's supposed to join us now. I think he went off. He's supposed to be on now. I want to ask a question because there is this advertised grass, this Baccaria. Of what importance is Baccaria to ruminant feed at Mr. Cattle Club?
The question has really been answered. Anything we are planting is either we are interested in the yield or the nutrients. Yes. It is either the yield or the nutrients. And it has been said, Baccaria is high yielding and is nutritious to animals. The protein content is higher than average grass that we do have. So that is my own view. The short answer I will give to the question. And they are easy to establish. They can stand years on the pasture. It can last for years on the pasture. That's one other advantage.
Thank you very much, at Cattle Blog. I want to ask another question again. What are the different varieties of Baccaria at Red Goat Farm? More light on this. What are the different varieties of Baccaria? And please, I will at this point say that we should limit the big grammar. Let's use simple sentences so that our people can comprehend what we are saying. At Red Goat Farm, are you with us?
I'm with you. God help me in that sector. I wish. I'm trying to. I know of at least 6 types of Baccaria, but like I said, that genus has, sorry, again, that's a big word. That type of plant has maybe 50, 60 different varieties. I have not bothered myself with the 60. I focused on what was available at NAPRI, and it wasn't Mulatto 2. So I don't know what it is they sold me at NAPRI. So I went to look for Mulatto 2 specifically. There are different types depending on the ecology of the area, on the weather conditions of the area and the other grasses in the area. But the 2 that I have are the one from NAPRI, which is not Mulatto 2. I suspect is Bracharia cobra, just looking at it, there's a feature that you check on, and mulatto 2. One of the problems that I encountered in Nigeria and buying seeds generally is that you are not too sure what they are selling you, and the person who's selling it to you is not sure. In other countries,
and he wants your money.
Well, listen, it's because there is a demand and supply disequilibrium. In other countries, if you go to Kenya and you buy seed, if you do not have a certificate, the people in the airport will stop you and accost you. The person who sells you the seed must issue a government certificate, amongst other things, telling you what it is, percentage purity, germination rate, when the test was done, where the test was done, amongst, I'm talking of you buy something on eBay, you have to have a certificate, otherwise they will stop you and they will take it from your box in the airport in Kenya. So,
are you still talking to us, sir?
Bracharia, I have 2. I know 2, but I know there are more than 50. Maybe Cattle Plug has come across many in his area. I would say
the name of the 2 you have.
Say again?
And give us the name of the 2 you have and the unique differences between the 2.